Our second resource person for the second session has already joined. So let me introduce all of you to our resource person for the second session, Dr. Iman Alam ma'am. She's a lecturer in botany and microbiology, department in Faculty of Science, Al Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt. A doctorate in plant physiology. She has submitted 16 patents related to new drugs extracted from plants. She has 45 books in her name in the areas of medicinal plants and 36 internationally published scientific research papers. She is in the editorial board of many international scientific papers and has reviewed more than 250 scientific research papers. She is a postdoctoral fellow at African Center of Excellence for Neglected Tropical Diseases and Forensic Biotechnology, Nigeria. To add more, she is the Global Ambassador on Climate Change, Nigeria, Ambassador of Peace 2022, IDYM TIP India, and the Vice President of Biosciences Research Support Foundation. A very, very warm welcome to you, ma'am. And ma'am will be enlightening us on the topic simplification of scientific writing of a research-based paper. Ma'am, the session is all yours.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So my voice is clear. Let's greet
Yes,
all of
your
you.
voice.
And I need to start now. Just I wanted to thank Dr. Shalija for inviting me and also all respected organizers and the host. Thank you very much for your lovely introduction. And now let's start.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Together, I am trying to share my screen now also. Together, we will talk now about simplification of scientific writing. So let's start. Just I wanted to close some windows. Yes. My screen is visible?
No, ma'am, not yet. Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Okay. Thank you very much. So today, together, we will talk about how to write a scientific paper. We will talk about together about simplification of scientific writing. So writing is a scientific paper is directed to specialists. We have many types of writing. We have writing in science, like simplification of science, but for non-specialists, like magazines, journals, and so on. But writing for specialists will result in a scientific research paper. So writing is a scientific paper means when you write about scientific topics to specialists in a particular scientific field, and we call it scientific writing. But when we are writing to non-specialists, we need to call it science writing. The scientific writing of scientific paper has developed over the past 3 centuries into a tool of communication as a result of scientific inquiry. The main audience of the scientific paper are extremely specialized. So we are directing our words to specialists. The purpose of this writing of these papers, we have many purposes, like to present information to that it is easily to retrieve and to present enough information that readers can duplicate the scientific study. So we are reporting our results in a scientific journal, and it is a process common to all researchers in all disciplines. However, many scientific papers fail to communicate research work effectively due to bad scientific writing. So, pitfalls include using a complicated jargon and including unnecessary details and writing for your highly specialized colleagues instead of a wider audience, and so on. Standard format with 6 main parts, including we have title and title or subject. It means what aspect of the subject was studied. We have abstract and summary of the paper. It means the main reason for the study, the primary results, the main conclusion. We have also our introduction. It means why the study was undertaken. We are doing a review of literature followed by aims and targets. Materials and methods, how the study was undertaken. Results, what was found. Discussion, why these results could be important or significant. What the reasons might be for the pattern. For the patterns found or not found. Effective research articles are interesting and useful to a broad audience, including scientists in other fields. So we are talking to specialists and other specialists also, but in our major. For example, when we are talking about highly specific people, we are talking about, for example, phytochemistry, but it must be understandable by botanists, for example, and so on. Effective research articles are interesting and useful to a broad audience, including scientists in other fields. This infographic will represent tips to help you how to write papers to be readable and understandable. Regarding scientific writing, we are writing the title. We need to keep it simple and specific and to describe the content, but not to be technical to a level that it can't be easily understood. We need to write, we need to be concise. What about abstract? Abstract is short, but we need to remember not to cram as much detail into it as possible. We want to grab the reader's attention with the first statement. So, abstract must be attractive. Introduction. When writing an introduction, pick out the things that are most relevant to your work and explain why. Present the background of your work while focusing on the most important issues. And at the end of introduction, we are introducing our aims and targets and how can we achieve them. Results and discussion. We need to make our RZ concise but informative. It must be informative. It must focus on the important parts, not on other small details. We need to remember that the discussion of unexpected results is often as valuable as focusing on the expected findings. And also we need to respect and appreciate both positive and negative results. What about references? We need to make sure that the reference section includes all data related to the current literature. We need to make sure that all references inside the text are included in the reference section. We need to make use reference management software like Mendeley and EndNote and so on. It will save our time. We need to do timing. We need to block out times for writing. We need to have schedule or agenda. We need to consider having regularly scheduled times to write. We need also to choose the best time according to when you tend to function it best. Citing. What about citation? In general, we need to use our own words. We need to use, when we are using our own words, as I said before, when we are using other words related to others, we need to refer to the reference. We need to do rephrasing. to avoid plagiarism. We need to cite the source if a fact or idea is not our own. And also, we need to avoid very long paragraphs and sentences. We need to consider using heading, bullets, italics, and boldface, but don't overuse them. Make easy to understand the graphics. What about editing? Before submission of the manuscript to the journal, we need to read it finally in a good manner, and we need to have feedback also from others, like colleagues and so on. There are many ways to approach the writing of a scientific paper, and no one has the right way. So the right way can be related to me and can be related to you. No one is right at all. Many people, however, finding that drafting is very good and highly required according to this schedule or this arrangement. Results, discussion, introduction, material and methods, abstract, and finally title. So we have many schools related to arrangement of writing steps of the paper. For example, we will start by results and discussion, followed by introduction, methodologies, abstract, and finally title. Why we are writing title in the final? Why the title is the final thing to be written? Because the title and the abstract are variable. So we need to detect primary title, and also according to the result, we will change it to be the permanent title. We have many rules related to the writing. For example, we need to schedule our time in Outlook. We need to start with an outline. We need to create a detailed outline and discuss it with our monitor and peers. We need to continue with drafts. We need to start with material and methods. We need to be accurate in the description of material and methods. Don't change the point of view within one paragraph. We need to write results section according to being clear, concise, and have an objective. And the objective must be described in these results. Now it's the time of introduction. Introduction must be interest to our readers. In the introduction section, we are doing something like signaling all its elements and stating the novelty of the work. I did this work for why? Because why? I have review of literature. I have a gap in science. I have accordingly objectives, aims, and so on. Discussion of these results. We need to represent the principles, relations, generalization in a concise, and also we need to use convincing tone. We need to choose the best working revision strategy. Finally, we need to revise our paper at the macro structure and the microstructural levels by using different strategies and techniques. We need to receive feedback and receive again, revise it again and again. We need to, as I said before, to depend sometimes on colleagues and peers. And finally, we are submitting the papers. This is the first part of my lecture. Time is okay. Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Thank you very much. So let's continue to the second part of the paper. Of the presentation. As I said before, we are talking about simplification of scientific writing. So we have some rules to have an excellent scientific paper. Let's talk about alphabet of a scientific paper. Generally, what is the paper? What is the scientific paper? It is not means merely a paper like any other written paper, but it means pencil-pen reactions induced by sounds of minds interact with each other to produce applicable works. It's very important to have applicable work. I think the screen is not changed. Am I right?
No, mine's not changing. It's not changing.
Yes. Okay, let's close the other one. I think I need to share it again. Okay.
No issues, ma'am.
Yes, I closed it because I am using two devices to be audience and to be also speaker. Okay. Yes, I am coming. Yes, I
Now
think
it's
it's
visible.
okay now.
Yes,
I
yes,
saw it.
perfectly fine.
Yes, thank you. I repeat the first two slides. Okay. We talked together about simplification of scientific writing, right? So we talked together about how to simplify scientific writing. And now we need to have some alphabets related to writing of a scientific paper. So let's start. What is paper? Scientific paper is not means merely paper, like any other written paper, but it means pencil-pen reactions induced by sounds of minds. Yes. Induced by sounds of minds interact with each other to produce applicable work, supplied a beneficial product for people. So we have applicable work as a result. This applicable work will give us a product. Paper requires great efforts payment. Ideas of papers are results of positive reactions between scientists and their surrounding environment. So, to conclude, what is paper? It's pencil-pen reactions to produce applicable works. These applicable works will give us product. This product is highly beneficial to people. It requires efforts payment, and it is the net result of reactions between the researcher and the surrounding environment. So we are not in isolation. Now we need to talk about paper equation. We have equation. This equation will summarize basis of the scientific paper. Title plus abstract plus introduction plus methodology plus results plus discussion plus conclusion plus references. In the mind of scientists, it will form paper. So I didn't talk about, for example, acknowledgement, because I am talking about basic scientific parts, okay? And acknowledgement may be not included because already all authors are did all things by themselves. But we are writing in the acknowledgements, people, those are supported us to a degree, but this degree is not reached to be the same level with authors. What about different parts of paper? Title. Title must express the work totally in brief words, total ideas, total results. It must be informative and identify our work. It must be targeted and to the point. Less but suitable words are better than many misleading words. It must be enough for the identification of the work. So, we need now, before talking about abstract, we need to do small test to detect if this title is okay or not. We said it must be informative, it must be small, it must identify the work, and blah, blah, blah. So, for example, I have one title. I need to say, for example, phytochemical studies on Romix vesicans, one plant. If you will remove Romix vesicans, the name of the plant, so you are doing phytochemical studies on what? If you will remove phytochemical studies, for example, what you are doing on Romix vesicans. So this title is okay. I try to delete something, but it's not accepted. Okay. Try to add. I think nothing. So the test related to the accuracy and suitability of the title can be done by either adding or deleting some words. If it will accept, it means that it needs some words. If it will accept the deletion, it means that it's very long and no need for all these used words. What about abstract? The abstract must be attractive, brief words but of great values, strong formation, targeted, to the point, represents our data shortly, all ideas, all methodologies, all results in a mini paper conclude our work. It is compact, complete mini paper, and it must be targeted to the point. So we have two types of abstract. We have structural and non-structural. It can be divided or not divided. What is the difference? According to the journal format, according to also the conference rules. So I can prepare it as divided into different parts or not. But it must be arranged logically. We need to start by something like review of literature or reason of the study, ended by aim or targets, and how can I achieve this target by methodologies, important followed by important results, and conclusion and keywords. What is keywords? Keywords will allow us to obtain or to get the paper from websites. Let's talk about introduction. Introduction introduce the work to readers, not too short, not too long and boring. So medium size is better than enough. Targeted, to the point, renewable, rephrase sentences to fit our work. We are not using sentences of others. We need to rephrase them. We need to write them by our own way. We need to have our own fingerprint. We need to organize our data in order to show its scientific value. Documentation of every written word must be done. Sorry. Documentation of every written word must be done. It is useful review followed by the introduction of target in the work shortly at the end of it. So at the end of the introduction, we are talking about our target. It must be compact, complete review of literature can be included in it. It will tell us about the past against the future. Previously, what is done by others, and I am doing what, and what is the extensive work, what is subsequently needed to be done, and so on. It must be informative, observation of what is already done by other researchers to determine the main aim of represented work. Neglection of pioneers equal complete ignorance. If there is no past, there is no future. So we are drawing our future from now. What about methodology? Methodology is materials and methods, ethics, efforts, estimation, and establishment of our future. Why I included ethics and efforts in methodology? Because we need to work under the control of ethics. We need to appreciate efforts of others, not only work, not only doing some things without being judged by ethics and appreciation of ethics. Establishment of our future. We need to think how to modify, not how to repeat others. I am not a copy of others. I must be unique. I must be myself. We need to trust ourselves during the work. We need to try and error to learn. No one can be learned without trying and doing errors and avoiding errors and so on. We need to tolerate all hard conditions and all low facilities. We need to know how to use simple things to achieve our great targets. We need to have our online mind, not offline mind. The direction of the work will direct us and lead us to our thinking. We need to be creative. We need to have creative thinking instead of official thinking. We need to have international thinking instead of local thinking. Because, for example, Egypt and India are inside the globe, Malaysia inside the globe. So when I'm thinking locally, it means that I have a blind mind. I am not looking to others. We must have, as I said before, online, not offline mind. We need to have great contribution to the science, not only with traditional work. Our work falls under our responsibility, so we need to be ourselves during the work. Years of our life are bended for learning how to be great scientists in the future. What about results? Results is a reflection of all other parts. So it's a reaction between all other parts of the work. All other parts of the work are reacted together to give us successful results. We need to respect both negative and positive results. We need also to respect our own results. We need to avoid copying and paste results of others. And also, we need to avoid sticking to their results. Establishment of new successive works led by our results in the running work. We need to have new results instead of similar results to others. It must be useful for the followers. must be valuable, not weak results. We need to talk about in an attractive manner. It must include both tables and figures, but figures are better than tables. We need to support or correct our primary hypothesis. We need to encourage ourselves to talk honestly about our primary hypothesis. Is it correct? Is it need correction or not? What about discussion? Discussion is the death or life of data. So it must be informative, it must be simple, it must be done as comparative analysis of our results against the results of others, represented in a creative manner. We need to use useful data instead of talking about useless data. In discussion, we are not talking about all results. We are choosing and selecting the most important results. And it must be short. It is a kind of swimming with our data and the data of others. And it must be informative. Look here, we have different types of swimming according to the author. So you can have the same number of review of literatures, but you can talk about them in a different way rather than me. For example, it must be informative. It must have great important impact to our work if done carefully. New way of comparing the results, our results with the results of others. This way of comparison will make our results of the work to be stronger. What about conclusion? Takeaway message. In few words, we are trying to deliver a message to readers in very short sentences. In few words. What about the references? In the references chapter, we are repeat all references included in the above text in details, efforts of others. So it is an important issue to mention their data exactly. If you used any word containing in their work during your research study, recent is more favorite than any other old references, but sometimes we are in a real need to use references related to pioneers. And they are still famous and their references are still working till now. Efforts of others, so we must mention their data exactly. We must appreciate any word taken from other workers, so we need to appreciate. So we are recollecting from the old texts, then reuse in this important chapter. For example, we need to highlight name of author or authors plus name of the work, year, journal, volume, issue, and pages in case of a reference came from journal or published manuscript. In case of thesis, we are mentioning the name of author. The author here is the student of MSc or PhD, for example. Name of author or authors. Then, here in case of thesis, only name of author, not authors, because the student is only one, okay? Followed by topic or title of the thesis, followed by the university, department, faculty, and so on, and the government, and also the country. Okay. And also, if we are talking about reference came from a paper, a book, it means we are talking about author or authors, chapter title, and then book title, edition, publisher, year, pages, and so on. Regarding arrangements and also punctuations and so on, valid according to the journal rules. So as I said before, it's efforts of others. So it's a very important issue to mention their data exactly if we use any word containing in their work during our research study. We need to neglect? No, we need to mention. We are not allowed to neglect anything related to others because we must be honest with ourselves and with our readers. Complete and corrected data, as I said before, authors, and topic, and journal, name, volume, issue, years, and so on. In case of book, instead of the journal name, we are talking about the publisher and so on. So finally, S of references means scientists. So we must appreciate all of them. We are not allowed to use any word related to others without mentioning them in very, very corrected and complete data. I reached to the final minute, and thank you very much for your listening. I'm very happy to be with you today. Thanks again for all respected organizers and all respected organizing agents and my contact. Any contact, and I am ready for any question. Thanks a lot for our great host. Thanks a lot for our great organizers, and thanks again for my lovely sister, Dr. Shalija, for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a very thought-provoking session from your side. The house is open for questions. Please feel free to ask questions now. Both the resource persons are available. Anyone wants to ask any kind of question, please feel free to ask questions. Anyone?
Madam, can you tell me from which country you're from? Or you're from India?
Iman ma'am, they're asking you.
I'm from Egypt.
Egypt.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone having any queries regarding how to write a scientific research paper? Please feel free to ask. Share your experience with the resource persons, please. I think they have understood everything. Otherwise, Haruna, do you want to ask something from ma'am? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening to you. I don't have any question. The presentation is well outlined, especially with her alphabetical explanation. It's like a rhetorical presentation, a presentation without question. So that is how I see it. So I don't have any question for her for now. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone? I think there is no one who wants to ask any questions, ma'am. but I must extend my heartfelt thanks to you for giving such an elaborate explanation of on the topic how to write a scientific research paper. You have very elaborately enshrined us regarding the meaning of scientific writing, how it is different from writing a paper from social sciences especially, and what are the main parts of a scientific research paper. That means what is the paper equation. The best part is the way you told them. It was so simple. Because I have seen students being very confused while reading about this, but you told it in a very simple manner, the paper equation, and what can be included in the effective research paper. What are the, you have very elaborately told us about citing, writing, and editing of a research paper, and what is their relevance, what is the importance of literature review, and what is the importance of revision of a research paper especially. And the best thing about your paper was the simple things to achieve the great target. That was the most effective thing, I think, we come across. So thank you so very much, Iman ma'am and Azra ma'am, for being a part of this workshop, and hope to be associated with you in the future endeavors also. Wish you a very, very best wishes for my side also. For your future endeavors. Very great evening and have a nice time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day too.
You
Thank
can
you.
leave the meeting now, ma'am. For the participants, there is an announcement as I was discussing with you people before also. There is going to be 1 week international faculty development program on teaching, learning and research. From 4th to 10th of January, which will be jointly organized by Cape Cameron Trust and SSS Jan College for Women, Tamil Nadu, Department of English, Shift 1 and Shift 2. Somebody was asking me about the registration fee. The registration fee is ₹500. And if we talk about the Cape Cameron Trust, if you don't know about it, it is striving continuously for excellence in academic across border, and is in the past years till date have organized numerous faculty development programs, international conferences and workshops, being recognized by the NITI Aayog, Government of India as well. And as far as the Department of English of SSS Jan College for Women is concerned, it has been established in 2018, and its motive is to enhance learning experience through smart classrooms and e-learning methodologies. So the conveners of the faculty development program are Dr. S. Santosh Smitha and Dr. R. Subha Jasmine, both from the Department of English Shift 1 and 2. The organizing secretaries are from Dr. Shubhra Jambal from College of Education, Jammu and Kashmir, and a part of Cape Cameron Trust. And of course, the coordinator is co-coordinator is Dr. Shelja Vasudeva ma'am from Vikram Batra College, Himachal Pradesh, and a very indispensable part of Cape Cameron Trust. So please do join it, because this is important for you. You will be having elaborate lectures on the various tools and techniques which are being used for teaching and learning, how to make your teaching effective, and what tools and techniques you can use inside the classes, how the smart, there will be elaborate discussions on e-classrooms, basically, the smart classes, how can you use your laptops and your smart rooms more effectively, how the PowerPoint presentations can be made more student-oriented. So if anybody is having any query regarding this faculty development program also, please feel free to ask. Anyone? The registration fee for the program is ₹500, and it will be from 4th to 10th of January. So please do join and be a part of this faculty development program, because it is not only going to fetch you certificates for your APIs and for your academics, but also going to be a very important and indispensable part of your future endeavors. So this is all from today's workshop. I hope you have you can feel free to talk to me also. I hope you had a very productive workshop, and you have learned something from this workshop. Anybody wants to say something? Anyone wants to share their experience?
Yeah.
Okay, Haruna, you want to say something, or yes, you can say. You are raising your hand. What do you want to say?
All right. So I I would like to express my profound gratitude to Cape Comorin Trust, MIRHA, Lavender Literary Club, for such an awesome workshop organized over the years. And I am very elated with the consistency in which the workshops are being organized to refresh our thoughts and minds about the research fraternity, because it keeps changing. Research is evolving each and every day, and we are very grateful. And we also need more of such workshops, and especially the impending workshop that you made mention of. I think it will be very awesome to participate. Yes, I think it's very awesome for everyone to participate in that workshop. That is between 4th and 10th of January 2023. And Cape Comorin Trust. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Haruna. Anyone else? Thank you for being. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Kausar wants to say something. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I extend a deep gratitude from myself, from my side, to the Lavender Literary Club and Cape Comorin Trust for organizing such a wonderful event, such a wonderful virtual workshop on research method and research writing, which is a very important field and very developing field. If we want to continue in this academic world, we have to develop this particular aspect fully, and it was very helpful for all of us. So thank you, and you keep on organizing such events, ma'am. We will be glad to connect with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All the very best. Anyone else wants to say something? Iman ma'am, if you want to leave, you can leave also, because they're not asking the questions actually.
Okay.
We're lucky to have you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a nice time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Anyone else?
Ma'am, from which place are you from?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I'm from Cape Comorin Trust at the moment. Okay.
Oh, you're Kanyakumari? Kanyakumari, ma'am?
Cape Comorin Trust. I'm assistant professor of law, and I am from Cape Comorin Trust. You're moderator for this workshop.
Ma'am, I want to know, you're in North India?
Yeah, I'm from North India.
Okay.
Anyone else? I think.
Doc. Yes, Doc. If Professor Dr. Bala is on the platform, we would like to hear something from him. At least an end of year message from him will be very, very laudable.
We convey your message,
Professor Dr. Bala.
We will convey your message. It's been very nice interacting with all of you for this workshop, and I hope you have your doubts are cleared as far as research methodology and research paper writing is concerned. I wish you all the very best on behalf of Cape Comorin Trust and your Malaysian MHRD and Lavender Literary Club for being the participant of this workshop. Wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Have a nice time. Bye-bye. Now you can leave the meeting now. Thank you so much.